organization in the group in the study, drawing the reforming light. In this way, we try to reach the action and action of bestow. When we try, let's say, are awarded with rising to an action of bestowal, we begin to feel that we came out of our will to receive, out of that bubble, and to the extent that we can be above the will to receive, both connected to the will to receive and connected to the will to bestow, existing between heaven and earth as it were, and then we are free. Now we begin to feel freedom. What is the dominion of one that will receive? What is the dominion of the world to bestow, and how we can move between the two? This is our path. Now we're trying to reach faith, the force of bestow above reason, above the force of reception. So we would feel the control of these two forces, not only one. Only one force controls us to receive. We can't even feel that he is in control, because this is our nature. That's how we were born. And there's nothing else. I have nothing to compare it to. And so without the ability to compare to something, you can't say that you have this or you don't. You only have one thing. So our first action, first degree, first state is to obtain the state of bestow. The second force, the force of faith, force of then as that exists above the force of reason. And between these two forces, we'll begin to live, will constantly fall to a greater, deeper will to receive, and each time try to rise to the connection between us and the prayer to a higher will to bestow, deeper and higher, deeper and higher, and this ever-growing amplitude. These are our states of sense, and the sense. So I don't ask the Creator to give it to me for free. I want to put myself under the rule of bestow. Of course, we want to be under the authority of the force of bestow, but we don't understand what it is, and it's expressed with us in such ways, place that's completely opposite our nature. How can I get rid of myself, rise above myself? What does it mean to rise, to ascend? It means that from everything I've got, everything I feel, this world, but I have, that all this is happening down below, and I'm rising above, as if I'm rising with a kite up to the heavens, and I lose all my relationship to corporate life. We can't afford those things, and if we can afford it, if we're ready for it, we're ready because it's better. It brings us a certain solution, a better life, meaning I exchanging my corporality with the greater corporality, and I imagine it is spirituality. That's why spirituality is bestow. It's not easier life. Not when I imagine to myself what it's like to be in the heavens and to be independent of everything, above everything. No, I'm actually not above everything. I take upon myself the responsibility to care for everyone, for all of reality, the whole, all of humanity, the whole world, to bestow to the Creator. Through that where I want to correct all my broken vessels, the broken vessels so that he would enjoy my work to the extent I can bring all of humanity, all the souls, the connection, and to him. That's why we need to imagine spiritual work in a way that not that I'm hovering above and beyond between the angels, among the angels. Rather, I'm rising to a more responsible work, greater, more mature work. Otherwise, we're imagining it all in our will to receive, and we're getting rid of all the troubles and worries. No, we're taking upon ourselves additional troubles and worries, but of a different kind, the global divine kind. According to what you're saying, I now in the middle of the lesson, I detach from my responses and I just integrate in the friends. I feel them, and of course it makes me feel good. It's easier. There's no, hang on just a minute, why are you? Without any worries, because in that moment I just feel the friends, and this is not the meaning of being integrated in the friends. You're just simply escaping your corporality. Spirituality is much more difficult to connect everyone. Care about the connection between you until the Creator has revealed to reach such qualities between us, causes of love and bestow connection, care in which the Creator is revealed. It's not simple. It's not a simple thing. You have to be so close, tightly close to another. That's when we will feel what it means to be connected in one soul. So how do you correctly do this work? Even now in the lesson, how do you take care of the friends correctly? I want to help them with everything I've got to be connected in one single forest, one intention. So all of us would have one intention to care for one another, and from that we will discover there's another creator, another component called everything. The creator is not counted as another one among us. It doesn't exist outside of us. The creator is called creator from the words come and see. We come to sit called come and then see if you've reached the state of connection. You reveal the result of their connection. The essence of connection is a special force in nature that exists even before that, and that force invited this whole creation, and then you reveal it again. You restrict yourself and you connect again to him, and that's how you reveal the creator. Okay, the excerpt begins with saying the most important thing is the prayer, the request, and it seems like joy is the result of that prayer. Joy, gladness has to exist in all the stages, have to try. I'm not saying it's there. The person who is under the egoistic rule, and always feels some form of sorrow, but we have to arrange the sorrow. So, the sorrow is not sorrow, but has to be gladness. We reveal a greater will to receive each time, and it's revealed when the Creator shines on us more with this upper light, and when the upper light shines on us, it reveals greater will. Receive in each one of us and all of us together, and so each time we find ourselves with a heavier heart and with a worse ego, but consequently, we can begin to rise above it, and that's how we advance. Hence, he who is greater than his friend, his inclination is greater, and we always start from a state where we're unhappy, unsatisfied, and quickly as possible. We need to help each other to detect the state as the correct state for the beginning for advancing. Clear 1. There's a feeling that we are supposed to relate to something that doesn't exist or that we don't attain. And what I don't feel in my senses means it's not existing. So we're supposed to treat it as if we attain it even though we don't. I don't want to enter into this philosophy as if yes, no, you should do what as it's written. Hello everyone. In light of what's written in the end of the excerpt is that the Creator will give him joy in the work above. Reason that it's important for a person, as if he already has reason, but we always have reasons, and so no, not, as if he will not have reason. We're asking for faith. Read these a few more times, and you'll see he's not asking for reason. He's asking for faith to be above reason. The reason that he's asking have faith above it. BT 31, he describes that the body doesn't agree with the work. How can you describe joy when the body doesn't agree with this work? Like the example that Rabash gave, let it suffer. Where is the joy? In the same place as the suffering and the feeling. Where else can suffering or joy reside? If the body agrees it's not the correct choice, we're nonetheless work to demand faith. I want to rise above my feeling, my mind, and to be in the power and the force of the soul, that's it. And if I come to determine these two feelings and the feeling that I have nothing, together with that I have the ability to bestow to everyone, this is in that case a spiritual degree, gladness from bestow, and together with that I don't have sorrow from not filling my vessels of reception. On the contrary, I feel that I'm rising above them. It's an opportunity for me to rise to bestow. Sorry, but what does it mean to rejoice in the suffering? It's not clear. It's true. I remember I also didn't get it and Rabash would point at himself and say, let it suffer. Let it suffer. Meaning his ego, which now demanding something and not perceiving it suffers. Okay, let it suffer. A person is always divided into a will to receive and a will to bestow, and he always has a satisfied part and an unsatisfied part, and one pulls him down, and with one he's rising up. One is under the restriction and concealment, and the second one is moving towards the revelation of the Creator and adhesion. So now I'm happy because here I've won against the will to receive. Yeah, P4. It seems from the excerpt that the greatness of the Creator takes me down to the reason. So what's the difference between asking for faith or greatness? The greatness of the Creator doesn't bring you into reason because you attain it above reason. I understood from the excerpt that you can't ask for the greatness of the Creator. Then because then you'll work because he's great in your vessels of reception. There will not be spirituality. You will work for your own benefit. You will never reach the quality of bestow. Sure. So what is the greatness of the Creator above reason? That you portray it the greatest of the Creator, although you don't attain it in your vessels of reception, you attain it. In your vessels of bestow, it will come. When vessels of bestow will come after a few more efforts, you will discover the vessels of bestow, and in them, you will reveal the greatness of the Creator in bestow, meaning in reflected light to the extent you can rise above your will to receive, above the restriction in screen, and you want to bestow and reflected light to the host. You imagine portray the greatness of the host without investigating him in your vessels of reception, but only bestow and equivalence with him. Then according to the degree of equivalence, you begin to discover it and begin to feel it. That means that we are building him. Yes, that's exactly right. Because what does it mean to investigate him, to feel him? You are building inside of you from your own vessels. You know, corrected vessels, the image of the Creator. So, you are exploring with these vessels, and in them you are finding the Creator. That's why it says you have made me clear. USA, Northwest, Northeast. Hello Rob, hello Roll. And my question is, so should we always be adding a new intention on top to behold on to faith above reason? So do we have to always add on top of the feeling or whatever state to be able to be above reason in thought of the friends and the society? Yes, Ken. Turkey. Yes. Turkey too. Oh dear. A question from my is being in agreement with the body as same as the agreement between faith above reason? How can it be? I don't know. This is a special philosophy when I'm in agreement with my body, what my body wants, and if I go and do that what my body wants, this is called faith above reason. First of all, it's not faith, it's reception, and within the reason of the body. Bulgaria. When we work in joy and the body feels no resistance, but at the same time I can't raise prayer to the Creator from the heart, who's given me the power to work in joy, only through the group to receive it from above, from the Creator. Don't worry, you will always have the strength if you connect to the Creator through the group in all states. Hebrew 10. The difference between a Kabbalist and a masochist is that the Kabbalist enjoys the suffering because he relates it to the Creator. No, he doesn't relate it to himself, but he relates it to the ego the Creator created. When he sees suffering and the will to receive in him is something that doesn't belong to him, rather it's the Creator's force, and he is looking at himself like a beast, like an animal. In this beast the force of reception is revealed, the ego, and not that in this be my force of bestow will be revealed, and he doesn't. He sees himself as neutral, is not belonging to this or to that. Can you give an example to a friend in this work? I don't know, try. I am an athlete. When I invest in practice, in training, it gives me results. It gives me a power to reach a more difficult result. Why is it so? Opposite in spirituality. Not only I don't get a result, I even have to imagine the result. Why does it work that way in spirituality? You're saying something correct and incorrect. It depends on the kind of result you're expecting to get from spirituality. In sports, if you are exercising, the more you exercise, although you get tired and you need afterwards to rest, nevertheless, you're growing stronger. Here in the wisdom of Kabbalah, and the more exercise you are doing your ego, when you want to do these exercises to rise above your ego is grows weaker, you become weaker, but later you recuperate, you recover. These things are similar to sports, but still in sports you see all the states that are coming as good, and here you see them both as good and as bad. You want to subjugate your ego, and in sports it's the opposite. You wanted to grow. Think about it. You can even talk about it in the tent. Next, excerpt number 16 from The Purpose of the Work is in the literal and nature, since in this work he no longer has room to fall lower down, since he is already placed on the ground. This is so because he does not need greatness, because to him it is always like something new. That is, he always works as though he had just begun to work. It's a sign that we are in the work of above reason. It's written, they should be as new in your eyes, each day or several times a day or every moment even. I feel as if I'm starting from scratch, as if I've had nothing, and I know nothing of spirituality and what to do and how to do it. And I always look for how to do something, meaning these are actually signs that we are renewing ourselves and you're climbing the ladder. And he works in the form of accepting the burden of the kingdom of heaven above reason. The basis upon which he built the order of the work was in the lowest manner, and all of it was truly above reason. Only one who is truly naive can be so low as to proceed without any basis on which to establish his faith, literally with no support. That's what we're demanded of. So does it mean that we are wise? We are investigating. We're advancing in a healthy way with a clear vision, as it's written a wise person has his eyes in his head. Or, additionally, he accepts this work with great joy, as though he had had real knowledge and vision on which to establish the certainty of faith. Yeah, I wake up every morning and several times a day when I recover and I return to the thought of spiritual work, and I see I have nothing, and again I have to remember, where is it? Why? What forces? How can I do something? And this is happening several times a day, at least daily. So when will I get anything if everything disappears? And to that exact measure of above reason, to that very measure as though he had reason. Hence, if he persists in this way, he can never fall. Rather, he can always be in gladness, by believing that he is serving a great king. If we don't forget that there's no besides him, and the Creator is 100% in control of each and every state that we have, and there isn't a moment that we're not in his field, when he's filling all of reality. This force of bestow, just general force of bestow, then we have no room for any negative feeling, any negative thoughts. Rather, we are inside the force of the good who does good, who created the creatures, inside of him in order to bring them as well to that state. We are in that, and we are specifically in that development. It needs to be realized that we discover this force and connect with it together. Okay, we only have PT for. We can agree with everything, but in the end I don't come to a prayer. It's I don't see a prayer in the horizon. Where on the horizon do you need to see it? Where should it come from? With all the states, with everything, that we need to be joyful, but the prayer doesn't emerge. What does it mean that doesn't come out? Shouldn't you do it? Yes, but to be in gladness, to believe it's all the Creator, to see it all within reason. I don't know all those words, I know only one thing: everything we attain in spirituality comes to us because we are turning to the Creator and he's arranging it. Nothing besides that. The question is only in what state should we be, so we could turn to him and he would help. So the inclination towards connection in the 10, that's a must. Addressing the Creator, since the force of correction will only come from him. And another thing, which is patience. Constantly activate the connection between us and from the prayer of many, as we call it, to the Creator. So you can say there is an inclination to connect, but to the Creator. I can't see what else to do to reach this prayer. Start talking about it between you. How much did you speak about the need to pray to the Creator, and that only in this you depend? Start talking, and he shall help his friend. So then envy, lust, honor, all of our foundations will help us build the prayer. No, the people of the great assembly created a prayer for us. You can read what it says in the Siddur, in the prayer book. You can read Psalms, which is accepted in the entire world. You can see it in all languages. Everyone is reading Psalms. You don't have a nation, those that grew up together in all the religions, who don't know Psalms. Go ahead. You have words, if not your words. You have written words. Okay. We did 16. Read 17. Maybe we'll even go back to 16. 17. From Rabash. A person must take upon himself the burden of the kingdom of heaven on the lowest quality, and say about it that to him even that state the lowest that can be, meaning one that is entirely above reason, when he has no support from the mind or the feeling, so he can build its foundations on it. And at that time he is seemingly standing between heaven and earth and has no support, for then everything is above reason. Then a person says that the Creator sent him this state where he is in utter loneliness, since the Creator wants him to take upon himself the burden of the kingdom of heaven in this manner of loneliness. At that time, because he believes above reason, he takes upon himself that the situation he is in now comes to him from the Creator, meaning that the Creator wants him to see the lowest possible state that can be in the world, and yet he must say that he believes in the Creator in all manners. This is considered that he has made an unconditional surrender. Again, excerpt 17 Rush. A person must take upon himself the burden of the kingdom of heaven on the lowest quality and say about it that to him even that state, the lowest that can be, meaning one that is entirely above reason, when he has no support from the mind or the feeling, so he can build its foundations on it, and at that time he is seemingly standing between heaven and earth and has no support, for then everything is above reason. Then a person says that the Creator sent him this state where he is in utter loneliness, since the Creator wants him to take upon himself the burden of the kingdom of heaven in this manner of loneliness. At that time, because he believes above reason, he takes upon himself that the situation he's in now comes to him from the Creator, meaning that the Creator wants him to see the lowest possible state that can be in the world, and yet he must say that he believes in the Creator in all manners. This is considered that he has made an unconditional surrender. Okay, good morning, Raf. Is it the request to work with joy because we don't feel the greatness of the Creator in the center of the tan? Didn't get it. Repeat, please. So the request to work with joy because we don't feel the greatness of the Creator in the center of our 10. Now the request to work in the 10 is because we wish to resemble the Creator, and you can resemble him only in the connection. In the complete connection is something you can carry out only in a tent. He asked whether the request to work in joy is because we don't have the greatness of the Creator. Gladness is not because you have it or you don't. Gladness is a result of accepting what the Creator is giving me as the correct thing for my advancement, in order to reach bestow to the Creator. What does it mean? The action that of accepting the burden of the kingdom of heaven. Receiving kingdom of heaven means that I take upon myself the authority or the control of the Creator. Let's put it this way. I take upon myself the dominion of the Creator, that there's an upper force that is nevertheless in control of me, is twisting me and turning me, is confusing me. It's all coming from him. In general, anything and everything that exists in me and my desires, my thoughts, my brain, my heart, it all comes from the Creator. And if my carry this thought all the time, possibly even with this feeling, this means that you're taking upon yourself the burden of the kingdom of heaven, meaning the Creator is first. Time, not to. Rob, how to build a correct prayer. That in the work. I'm telling you need to connect in the 10, and in the 10 start reading perhaps some excerpts, maybe we'll do it. Tell them leave they should prepare for us next time. There's excerpts verses for prayers, general ones not too specific, and then we will see if we can keep these prayers or not, or maybe we'll compose the prayers not according to what's written there, but according to what we think. We'll do it. No, as you already answer the fork. Rob, you said before something that is horrible. You said that the Creator is 100% in all our feelings. That scares our egoistic nature a lot. We feel like we have to hide somewhere. So the question is, hang on, I don't understand. I remember once reading somewhere that it says that there's none besides him. Did you also read it once? Tell me. See, so we see, and then what's up with you? We're done. The Creator is in control of everything. Even now when you're speaking, it's not you who is speaking, it's the Creator speaking through you. Yeah, but the question is this, if I may, for what purpose does the Creator do that? Why does he want the total control to be his? What's his goal here? Put yourself in place of the Creator. You are the only force that exists in the world, and you want to create more creatures that would exist separately from him. What can he do? If he's a single force, you'll see that He has no choice, and he will have to construct reality the way he constructed it. It's not that he doesn't have any other options or he has more options. Nature, who is one, if he wants to construct to create something other than itself, there is no other thing that can exist but us, and specifically, in the way that we exist, it's all moving from the beginning of creation till the end of creation. If you think how everything exists from one force, if that force wants anything else to exist, has no other choice out of his necessary nature to build what he built, and how he built it, without being in joy, it's impossible to come out of the nature of the world to receive. You can't, but you can receive joy and gladness from the group. If you're not connected to the group, you'll be in sadness, and if you are, you'll have the force of joy and confidence. Hebrew 10. Yeah, Rob, it says that the Creator wants to share what you're saying with you. I'm saying it's written that the Creator wants to show me that I am in lowness. No. Change your mic next time, then ask. I'm sorry. Can't hear you. Spain 2. The state of loneliness is like a state of experimenting within didn't get the state of loneliness. Can the state of loneliness, is it the lowest possible state that we can come to as the 10? What he talks about here. Yeah, loneliness is something you also attain only in the 10. Everything is measured according to your relationship with the 10. A person by himself is not considered, cannot measure anything. It's not spiritual. Spiritual is when I measure something relative to the 10. We need to simply forcefully determine it. The set that we only live in the 10. Focus group. A question from the internet. When we come to the state of joy as a result of the work above reason, seems like the will to receive after one time it felt this pleasure to always want to work above reason to get to this feeling. But in order to work above reason, you have to rise above the receive. He needs to be in bestow. Yeah, but after he worked in bestow in the beginning felt joy, it's a sense of joy, right? It's a pleasure from bestowal. Pleasure from bestowal, this is possible. This is allowed, you can do it. Start giving out everything you have. Enjoy what you're doing, go ahead. It's not a transgression. Hebrew 10. I hope you heard me well. It says that the Creator wants to show me that I'm lowly. What does it mean that I depend on him? It doesn't say that you depend on him, although this is also the case. And lowly means that you accept what the Creator gives you in the correct way for your advancement. First of all, there are many conditions for loneliness. First of all, that what I got now is the most correct form for advancing from this state to Adian, even when I don't think so. Of course, you won't think. So if you check according to what feels right, then you're not in the method of correction. Unity 4. Why do I need to pray for the friends if they are more advanced in spirituality, they are more successful, etc.? How, and is this correct to work in this situation? You have to be connected to them before then, as Rabish writes in his articles on the group, and then you will see from there what you have to do and how to pray. So repeat those articles. They attempt to work above reason to integrate in the friends to bestow to the Creator. In what moment do we need to begin to feel him, to understand him? Because there's a feeling like we're always going to work above reason. We don't even need the reason. We'll always be like that. And as much as we receive, we'll always go above what we receive. And each time the knowledge that we receive and the revelation of what we receive it in order to go above it. So Biner would beep in our eyes. More than we want to reach it specifically. This is the meaning of rising with our malhud to a higher degree. It's as though we receive this knowledge, this feeling. Yes, as a result, I just want to detach from the gladness to and from bestowing and from the sorrow and the will to receive, and just become an observer purely from the side, looking at what's happening to me and the reception. Bestow wherever I'm taking all these thoughts. Yeah. But to disconnect from sorrow, from joy is incorrect. You have to work with it, but it will come. Keep going. Let's summarize the main things we heard in the lesson in this workshop. There are many things you could say. Interesting, foundational. One of the things I wrote down is that spiritualities bestow. And first and foremost, it's not the search after something nice and nice that feels good, but rather its responsibility over others' concern. Yeah, we heard a lot of definitions on what happiness is, what spirituality is. Let's take something. Said that in spirituality you have to connect everybody to be concerned about their connection until the Creator is revealed to reach such qualities between us, that love, concern, connection where the Creator is revealed. Then he said it's not simple. A person by himself doesn't count measured in spirituality. We live only within the 10. Yet what said that spiritual is if I measure towards the 10. Said we have to repeat it, and always to determine that. Wrote we have to ask the Greater to save us, to raise us above our corporality, so we'll pray. The greatness of the Creator is attained above reason. The greatness of the Creator is attained above reason. I also wrote that spirituality is bestow. It's to be concerned about the whole world. It's to bestow to the Creator from all the shattered vessel. Responsibility is spirituality is responsibility. I checking. Says I heard that if you check according to what you feel, then you're not engaged in correction. If you're gauging things according to how you feel, I wrote so much as perhaps the issue of how you really can't check using your own vessels. You need to check according to the Creator's vessels, meaning according to how much you can give. Also, there was a question. Why did the Creator create the world at all? What was his goal? The whole issue of there's none else besides him. So I've said that if you put yourself in that situation, looking from the perspective of that one force, then there's no alternative but to build reality as he did. Nature is one, and in general, it's only the Creator speaking to us. If anyone is speaking to us, it's the Creator speaking through him. I heard in all kinds of ways that everything happens in the 10. You get all the forces from there. All the actions are happening there. There was something about happiness that who gives you the forces? That's also the 10. That there's no connection between a person and the Creator, but only through the 10. There was a question about how to be concerned about the friends correctly, and the answer was that I want to help them and all my forces to be connected to one force and one intention, that we'll all have the intention to be concerned about one another. So we heard that we are inside the Creator. He controls everything 100%. Hello. We will be reading our Introduction to the Study of the Tans, item 56. 56. Now you can understand the words of our sages. Quote, what is repentance like? Who knows the mysteries will testify that he will not return to falling. End quote. These are seemingly perplexing words. For who would rise to heaven to hear the testimony of the Creator? Also, before whom should the Creator testify? Is it not enough that the Creator himself knows that the person repented with all his heart and will not sin again? From the explanation, the matter becomes very simple. In truth, one is not absolutely certain that he will not sin again before he is rewarded with the above attainment of reward and punishment, meaning the revelation of the face. This revelation of the face from the perspective of the Creator's salvation is called testimony, since the Creator's salvation in itself to this attainment of reward and punishment is what guarantees that one will not sin again. It is therefore considered that the Creator testifies to him. It is written, quote, what is repentance like? End quote. In other words, when will one be certain that he has been granted complete repentance? For this, one is given a clear sign when he who knows the mysteries testifies that he will not return to folly. End quote. This means that he will attain the revelation of the face, at which time the Creator's salvation itself will testify that he will not return to folly. As explained. Yeah, no, okay, well, what is that state of not returning to folly? We learned that Kabbalists always go through ascents and descent. So what is that state? It's a state where he understands in what relation to revelation of the Creator he's in it, and it does not allow him to fall. Yes, it holds him, since the Creator shows him his relation. That's why he won't fall off. In the beginning of item 56 he writes, until the one who knows the mysteries will testify that the person will not return to folly. So what does it mean? That the Creator testifies about the person testifies about a person is the relation between the creator to the person is such that the person can fall into a sin. That's called that he testifies. So we always say that the 10 holds the person, and here he says that the creator or the revelation of the creator holds the person. So what changes in one's attitude towards the 10 with that state of not returning to folly? We'll learn about it more in a moment. Well, the state where the creator testifies that one will not fall from the degree. Where is there a place here? Well, there's no room for error anymore, to fall and then to continue. It's a state where a person already knows and understands and feels. That's how the creators are relating to him, testifying about him, that he won't sin anymore, that he won't fall. That's the creator testifying on a person. That's why repentance in such a state is considered complete repentance. So seemingly there's no room left for error, mistake. If the creator testifies about him, then obviously on behalf of the person, there won't be a mistake. So how can you advance? We'll see it in a moment. He still doesn't have revelation of face. He's still in a sort of concealment. Hebrew 1. Women Hebrew 1. Hello, I wanted to ask, at that point where one is awarded with the revelation of the face from that point onwards, what does a descent look like? Because you still have a sense and descents. So how will a descent look like? From that point onwards, a person is given an opportunity to strengthen in his faith, and this is how he advances, of justifying the creator in everything. Does that mean repentance? Yes, to justify the creator in everything. That's called to perform the complete repentance. Women Mach 145. In our 10, lately, we've been feeling greater and greater connection, especially with the October convention. We felt it, and now we feel the presence of the creator. Can it be said that we're now transitioning to a state of the revelation of the face? And is that a gradual change, or is it a kind of jump, a skip, where after that we understand that we won't return to folly? It happens gradually until you reach revelation, and then it's clear to a person what state he's in, so that the entire tent needs to attain this. Not necessarily. Everybody has to yearn for it. Women's pain. What is folly in spirituality? What does it mean to be a fool? That's when he doesn't understand, according to his knowledge, according to his states, he doesn't understand what's happening to him. And then, that's called folly, a fool. The reward a person receives is the power to go above reason. The reward is the force to go above reason. Yes, Amna, Woman Karbu. Hello my dear Raf. Is this a place where we agree that the creator can take her soul? Yes. Is it between two worlds? It's one a person. Still on one hand on the state he was. On the other hand there's an opportunity to ascend to a higher degree. Thank you. What is the sign that we get in the 10? Because I just heard you say that we need to receive this answer that we can always overcome and rise to a new degree. But what is that sign we get in the 10? That the creator is truly clothed in us when we feel that state of reward and punishment in the work. State that we feel that if we ascend to a higher degree, that will be an answer for all the questions we had just expressed in our work. This sign, that feeling that we're really getting an answer from the creator. We feel it. The creator fills all our questions. He fills all the doubts. And in this way, we rise to a degree of repentance. And so the scrutinies we make together in the 10, let's say we received some kind of insight in the morning lesson, and we carry it with us in the 10 throughout the day performing scrutinies. These scrutinies are supposed to carry us forward. So it means that we have confidence that we want to advance more together. Yes, correct. Okay, thank you. Let's continue. Item 57. This above mentioned repentance is called repentance from fear. This is because although one returns to the Creator with his heart and soul, until the Creator who knows the mysteries testifies that he will not return to folly, that certainty that he will not sin again is due to one's attainment and sensation of the terrible punishment and wicked torment extending from the transgressions. Because of this, one is certain that he will not sin, just as he is sure that he will not afflict himself with horrible suffering. However, in the end, these repentance and certainty are only because of the fear of punishment that extends from the transgression. It turns out that one's repentance is only due to fear of punishment. Because of this, it is called repentance from fear. Florida. Okay, Florida. A good morning, Rob. How is it that one is rewarded from repentance from fear? It seems like he's still working in order to receive by wanting to avoid the suffering. Repentance from fear is when a person, according to everything he feels in relation to the Creator, he becomes completely confident that he won't sin, that he won't fall into a state, that he'll be waiting for some action from the Creator, but he himself performs those actions, and that's what will protect him, that he won't fall anymore. Unity women. The Creator, when he testifies about a person, is that at the end of the degree of rewarded punishment or in the beginning. Again, speak a bit calmly. The Creator, when he testifies about the person, does it happen in the beginning of the degree of reward and punishment, or when a person has completed a certain measure of exertion and completed the degree, happens in the beginning, so that the person then works with the correction of the desires alongside with the help of the Creator, and then he sees the outcome of his work, and then a transition happens to the state through the degree of love. So, maybe it's such that a person discovers that whatever he does, the Creator always relates to him positively, treats him well, but it happens only if I correct the desire fully. Can we say that, if I may, another point, so the degree is finished and then you transition to the next degree each time? I can, but also each degree is divided into subs, so the person receives an illumination from future state despite still being under a concealment. So maybe a person can somehow, in some way, perhaps not permanently, but he can feel confidence from the future revelation of the faith. Correct. When is a person rewarded with the Creator testifying on him about him that he won't fall? That's repentance from fear, spiritual fear. So that's in item 57. Okay. What does it mean? Return to the Creator with heart and soul. That in all his heart and soul a person does everything in order to be in contact with the Creator. PT7. The definition of reward and punishment is such that a person defines for himself values regarding advancement in the Creator's work, or perhaps he sees that he's not advancing. Is that correct? Yes. So why does he write in item 57? He seems to attribute it to fear of punishment, torment. It's an advanced state, but not yet complete, because he still didn't finish the work, still has fears, he has doubts. So these transitions between reward and punishment, that's still from the ego. Yes, it's still from the ego. I wanted to scrutinize and perhaps ask a question from that. So we talk about the degree of reward and punishment. First, concealments. It's written that the one who knows the mysteries testifies about the person. That's repentance from fear, right? So far. Yes, okay. So here above that enters the work of the screen to rise. Above that to let's call it the spiritual spectrum. Here there needs to be a transition where one is detached from calculations of reward and punishment. Yes, let's say. So what can the created being do now when he identifies that he's working from his will to receive because of reward and punishment, and he wants to make different calculations? I don't understand. What does he want to do? To work above the degree of reward and punishment, to work just in order to bestow. He wants to rise to that kind of calculation. What can he use to assist himself in rising to a higher kind of work? How should I say it? That for him the reward will be as reward, and punishment for him it will be the same thing. Yes, but how does he construct it such that the reward, this reward, will be bestow? It comes from the deeds. No. What deeds? When a person scrutinizes his relation to the Creator, and it becomes clear to him that he wants to perform actions that are as bestowed to the Creator. So his attitude now, well, he transitions into a kind of interaction with the Creator and only with him. What else shall there be? Because his calculation of self-benefit always exists there in the background. So here, the one who knows the mysteries knows that the person won't return to fully. It means that the person doesn't think, about himself anymore. That doesn't exist. Is that the degree I'm asking? On his own he won't exist. Yes, thank you. Yep, he won't exist. Is that state a thing that we need to attain in the 10 between us? I don't understand. That state of fear. Is that what we need to attain in the 10? Yes. Now let's see. Thank you. How to ask for repentance in the 10. How to ask for repentance in the 10. Connect together, and from common desire, to turn to him and ask. Now, if a person thinks he did everything possible in the 10 and still did not receive an answer, does it mean that he didn't do everything yet, or that he doesn't know how to ask for repentance? There might be a few more reasons. Person in the 10 needs to reach a state that he is completely dependent on the 10, to reach a state of complete dependency on the 10, and then his future is a result of his relation in the 10. Thank you very much, Mark. If a person is awarded with the revelation of the face, so from that point on, what is he free? He constantly needs to lift himself to a height that is above his personal individual desires. That's it. What is a sin exactly? A sin. What do you think? It's difficult, because I think about myself. I'm wondering if my sins belong to the Creator. Yes or no? But you are performing them. I did. Created. How was I? I acted according to how I was created. That means you want to say this, that you actually don't have any freedom of choice and any free actions. That's what it feels like. Yes. So, what do you do? If he has mercy, well, I ask, emotionally, but it takes a long time. For the true prayer. I don't want to sin. I don't want the sin to come for me. But I suppose he wants it. It seems to me that he wants me to perform sins. Another and another. When you do a sin, then another sin, and another sin, and then what will be the end? I hope that the end will be such that I only perform acts of connection towards my time. But when will I perform even one action towards connection in my ton? I want to justify the Creator, who does everything. He's the good who does good. But my sin, it doesn't feel like good and doing good. It feels like, well, wronging the whole of creation. Yeah, so you want to come out of that state. So where is your prayer? Tell me, please. What? Where is the prayer? If it's clear to you what you want to do, and in all your forces, you can't do that action, then you have to ask the Creator. Any say to them, I will try. Thank Anna. Good morning. I'm here. If I understand correctly, the article says that if a person doesn't watch himself well, if the Creator doesn't testify about him, there's a chance he falls. So if you can explain this better and how it works in the 10. The question again I'll ask again. According to what I understand from the article, if a person doesn't watch himself from bringing upon himself terrible suffering, the Creator testifies upon him that he won't return to folly, then there's a chance he might fall. What does it mean that a person might fall even though the Creator testified about him that he won't fall? And how does this work in the T? It's as if there's a question that there's the matter of revelation of the face. Does the Creator shine upon a person, and a person feels that on behalf of that illumination that he is in a repentance from fear? Person still doesn't work. It's still the Creator working. That means that a person tests that the Creator testifies on a person that he won't return to fully. Let us continue. 58. He writes, by this we understand the words of our sages that one who repents from fear is rewarded with his sins becoming as mistakes. We must understand how this happens. According to the above, we can thoroughly understand that the sins one makes extend to him from the reception of a guidance of double concealment, namely concealment within concealment. This means that he does not believe in a guidance of reward and punishment. God forbid. One concealment means that he believes in a guidance of reward and punishment, but because of the accumulation of suffering, he sometimes comes to thoughts of transgression. This is because although he believes that the suffering came to him as a punishment, he still as one who sees his friend from behind, and might doubt and mistake him for another, as written there, that these sins are only mistakes, since in general he believes in a guidance of reward and punishment. Let's see women Turkey, in the work in the 10. What is a person afraid of when performing repentance? From fear that he won't be able to rise to the degree of the commandment to make sure his action will resemble the Creator. Anna, key free. This state where the one who knows mysteries testifies about a person. That's not the end of correction yet. So what is that stage on the path when a person advances from ascent to ascent? He comes closer to the state where he is completely, where he feels that he's in the Creator. That's called that he testifies about. Paladin that he won't return to fully. I thought the greatest falls are right before the final correction, as we heard about Balashento or Shimon from the market. The biggest falls, the greatest descents, come right before the end of correction. But it seems here that there's a stage where you go from ascent to ascent. No, descents. Is that before the end of correction? Where is that stage in our work? If so, let's start from the beginning. Where do you start from? From one thing to come close to the Creator, in order to draw the Creator into his life, in order to have this connect from it, and to constantly be in adhesion with that state. So what should I do? Look at that. He has to feel states, and from them to choose certain states where he can ascend towards a Creator, and by that to strengthen to grasp onto the Creator. That is what we call that he. How should I say it? And that he wants to testify about him. It's still not clear if the Creator testifies about him that he won't return to folly, that he won't sin. Why is that not the end of the correction? The Creator testifies about him that he will never sin. What's missing? He's connected, face-to-face adhesion. I guess there are still things that you don't have an answer yet. What does the Creator testify about? Exactly. So from here on out he will never sin. So why isn't that the conclusion of the correction? But a person is still left with a few pieces of information that upon them the repentance still isn't working, still isn't clarified.